This is basically where we work. This is the behind the scenes magic happens. This is where I stumble in every morning and I sit at my desk.
In this episode of My Journey to Dancing with the Stars, Global Morning News hosts Laura Casella and Kim Sullivan generously share their story and give me direct and honest advice on how to make it in this industry. Okay, so let's talk about your background. You went to school to be a broadcaster. You knew you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
What you learned in school, is it what's real in the world of broadcasting?
A lot of it is,
Yeah.
but certainly the real experience is when you get hands-on and you actually start working in the industry. I think students might have the perception that it's a very glamorous sort of career, and parts of it are, but a lot of it isn't. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of stress at the beginning, trying to get your foot in that door. So people think that it's easier maybe sometimes than it looks, and then when you actually get in it, you realize that it's not that easy. So I learned a lot in school. I learned a lot about radio. I learned a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm not actually practicing much now, but actual filming and editing and all those skills. So school is great for that. But actually hands-on experience and growing comfortable in front of a camera, or if you're on the radio, I think that really comes with once you're actually working in a business. That's why I encourage students to get their foot in the door, work for free, go intern.
I never got formal training. I was actually a teacher by trade. I studied psychology. So I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a master's in educational psychology for children with special needs. I had always been one to do public speaking. My parents saw an article in the Gazette to be princess of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And being of Irish descent, I was like, oh, okay, like that could be fun. But what motivated me is that there was a trip to Ireland to win. So it was all around travel. And I was like, wow, okay, a trip to Ireland. All I have to do is talk in front of 800 people. And Andrew Popowski from Global at the time was one of my judges. And he came to me and he said, have you ever thought about communications? And I was like, no, I'm, I was going to be a doctor. I was going to be a lawyer. And I'm a teacher now. Like I've passed through everything, and he's like, okay. For me, again, it was the I can talk through a crowd. I can talk through a crowd.
We were talking about behind the scenes. So I know that you were a producer for a radio program, and then you ended up getting on air. How important is it to understand all the nuances and the ins and outs of the behind the scenes before being on air?
It's funny because when I became producer of the Tommy Schnurmacher show, it's
a big job. I mean, that's
a huge job. I mean, he's an icon in Montreal broadcasting, of course. So when the job came up, I was like, I don't want to be a producer. I want to be on the radio. I want to be on TV. That was my that was sort of always what I aspired for. And a lot of people who want to be on TV or want to be on the radio would never think of taking a behind the scenes job. But in the end, it ended up being the best education, the best experience I can ask for. One, because I worked with someone like Tommy Schnurmacher who taught me a lot about broadcasting. Second of all, it gave me the research skills that you really need to be a host and to be an anchor.
And were you getting more comfortable, like every experience you had? Were you realizing it was a skill?
I'm not sure I ever recognized it. I'm not sure I do now. I never walked into that crowd going, I've got this.
Were you nervous, like before being in front of anyone?
Always. Still am sometimes.
So before you go on TV now, sometimes you're nervous?
Yeah, going on TV I'm okay, but the interviews, like depending who the interview is, I'm still nervous sometimes. I do get a little bit of the butterflies, but not too much. Just comfortable enough, like I just got them now thinking about it. Just comfortable enough to know that like it's right. I don't see the butterflies as being something bad. It often happens after the interview. I start over-analyzing and I start thinking, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that.
Maybe one of the things that you dealt with, and maybe even still deal with, is being your own worst critic. I mean, that is something
so tough
for me. And for me, actually, one of my hardest pieces is looking at myself on film. I'm trying really hard, and Chris talks to me about it a lot, and I don't say it much to him anymore, but I'm like, stop it, you look fine, stop it, because I'll say, oh, I look so ugly here or this or that.
Myself, but it's not good. that I
Okay,
have to change that.
so
I have
talk to me
change
about that.
Aside from the physical attributes, like, oh my God, I should have, we were joking before about our posture. Why am I slumping? I should have had my back straight. Oh my gosh, I really didn't like my hair like that. And, I'm self-conscious about my ears, and my ears look bad in that, like there's always something that you're going to look for. So that's why I try to not look at myself. But at the same time, you need to watch yourself. It's actually very good, because we are our worst critics, and you're able to see things that you don't want to repeat. So it's actually a good thing. But oftentimes things that we see in ourselves, the audience doesn't really catch on. So it's like we're too hard on ourselves, especially in TV. It's the nature of it. Like, we're too hard on ourselves. Yes. I remind myself that it's live TV and things are going to happen. And I also tell myself, and I believe, that the audience is forgiving in moments like that.
My takeaways from this episode: best experience is hands-on. Understanding behind the scenes is essential. Nervousness is not a bad thing. And self-critique is important, but go easy on yourself.